What up, world? Welcome to episode 117 of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast, Eagles Rookie Minicamp Edition. I am your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful and cloudy now confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast out officially on YouTube. However, you can also catch the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, Patreon, Trovo, and as well as on Podbean. Looking to get out this weekend, looking to take your spouse out, have a great time with some friends, then look no further than the number one leading ticket seller and reseller in the world, StubHub. Number one seller in the world for live events, tickets, shows, and concerts, StubHub. Happy to be here with you on this beautiful Cinco de Mayo, guys. And for those that celebrate it, happy Cinco de Mayo. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm about to definitely this afternoon. But nonetheless, I'm very happy to be here on this beautiful Monday with you guys to bring you this content. We're going to dive into the Eagles rookie minicamp. A lot of things that were pertinent, a lot of things that I thought that might be of interest to you guys surrounding the birds. And as always, flyeaglesfly. Shout out to the bird gang. But yeah, a lot of great things really unpacking from this camp. Also, we're going to touch on a local star from, like I said, I always tell you guys, we're in Atlantic City, New Jersey. There's a local star from this area that actually had a tryout with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll give you an update on that status of that information. We're going to talk on rookie cornerback Mac McWilliams and his confidence despite his height, which is something that he's well known throughout his life, and also talk about some of the shocking things that I saw from the early 53-man projections. Roster projections via csnphilly.com. And we also want to make sure I give credit to Dave Zangaro, who wrote these articles. He followed everything. Him and Brandon Lee Gouton of bleedinggreennation.com. These guys were very thorough throughout the rookie minicamp process, delivering the information. I was on top of it, getting the alerts. So definitely want to give those guys a shout out and for their work and credit. But before we go any further, I definitely want to give a shout out to a friend of the show. If you guys are definitely interested in the PlayStation like myself, or looking to acquire a new PlayStation, or looking to acquire a new bundle package, or just looking to just immerse yourself in the experience of what Sony has to offer, definitely check out within the description box and link it within this video. There will be a link to Sony PlayStation Direct. Sony PlayStation, more than a game. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thanks. Hopping into this content, guys. Rookie minicamp's already started. 2025 season is already upon us. Very excited to see the guys. As you can see here, some of the photos, you got picture of Jahai Campbell, some of the Andrew Makuba, some of the rookies. You even see some of the later round linemen, Cameron Williams, Miles Hinton. You see some of those guys. But yeah, it was very exciting to see. Definitely good to see some of the guys out there getting on the field, getting to work in early. They had some tryouts out there, but they even revealed the jersey numbers. Jahai Campbell's going to wear the number 30. Andrew Makuba is going to wear number 24. Ty Robinson, who I'm very high on, defensive tackle from Nebraska, is wearing number 95. Mac McWilliams, who I've previously mentioned, we're going to talk about on this show, he's going to be wearing number 22. Then you have Smile London, number 42, linebacker out of Georgia. Drew Kendall, the center from Boston College, is going to be wearing number 66. Kyle McCord, quarterback from Syracuse, then wearing number 19. We just previously touched on Hinton and Williams in the previous photo, but they'll be wearing number 78 and 73. And Antoine Powell Ryland wearing number 93, which is very interesting, but, it is an edge rusher number, so not too much of a shock there. Now, Jahai Campbell didn't practice. As you guys know, he's been still nursing that shoulder injury. The Eagles, as they've stated, how he stated in the press conference after he was drafted, they're not worried about the injury, the medical concerns at all. Essentially, they're just preserving him. They feel like he's a guy that's going to be there for a long time. He was shadowing, from what I saw via Twitter and some of the things that I saw on the internet. He was shadowing on the field. He was kind of shadowing plays, but nonetheless, he was working out. And I just think essentially this is just amazing news that will, work out for him and help build him as a player. And again, just building the continuity of the rookie class and getting him acclimated. But yeah, seeing a linebacker in 30 is kind of weird, but it's the new normal now, especially with the way these numbers are being configured. But it was happy to see him, and the linemen getting their workout, as you can see here on the screen. They were definitely getting some work into. just very excited about this rookie class, what they potentially could offer. And I'll have the link in the description of this video of how the line was set up. And who was left tackle. Miles Hinton, actually, just give you a little sneak peek. Miles Hinton played left tackle in this rookie camp, so be interested to see how that all played out. Definitely check out Dave Zangaro's article there. He showed some highlights too of Kyle McCord throwing the football around. He's definitely got a long way to go. I mean, he's, you got DTR, who, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who they just acquired via trade about a month or two ago. He has NFL experience. Kyle McCord, he's coming in really to kind of learn and really earn his stripes. Tanner McKee's got game experience, so no one's expecting this guy to really take any mantle of anything. But it, does make me wonder, Tanner McKee's position is kind of locked. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, though, isn't, and Kyle McCord is, he's rookie. So where does that leave Dorian Thompson-Robinson? Who knows, but we shall see. Going further, too, I definitely want to make sure I give a shout out to Nasir Morgan, wide receiver from Delaware Valley, Atlantic City native, born and raised like myself. He had a chance to get a tryout with the Philadelphia Eagles. I have here the roster and list of guys that they had camp tryouts. There was actually several South Jersey guys on this list, so shout out to the Bird Gang for that. However, after an extensive list of tryouts, Nasir Morgan didn't make the list, unfortunately, but Giles Jackson, wide receiver from the University of Washington, Washington Huskies, he did make the roster. Now, Giles Jackson has a resume of being, a receiver and a kick returner, so no shock there. Smaller guy on, as far as stature and size on the smaller end. He's not going to be threatening anybody as far as, starting wide receiver position. However, he's definitely going to be somebody they're going to bring into camp to contest with Avery Williams as far as returner. We all know Avery Williams. They acquired. He previously played with the Atlanta Falcons. Dual threat guy, wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner. So Eagles definitely want to continue to expand on special teams. Definitely want to keep doors open for guys and give guys an opportunity to make the team via that route, which, I appreciate. But off of that for a second, I want to make sure that I stress emphasis on this. I'll have the link within the description of this video because I want to say it was Ruben Frank from CSN Philly that wrote the article. These guys write great articles on the Eagles. I definitely implore you to check it out. But the love that the Philadelphia Eagles have shown historically for South Jersey players and the opportunity they have granted South Jerseyans to play for, in the NFL and play for the Philadelphia Eagles, it's just been a true honor. I've always argued as someone who lives in Atlantic City, Atlantic City is always known for the casinos. They're trying to clean the image up a lot. It's known for a lot of other things too, as we well know. But the city's definitely trying to clean up its image. So to get guys that are from here, from this area, more importantly, to make something of themselves and to make it on a major stage and to get drafted or even try out for the Eagles, it's always a great thing. So it sucks that Flash didn't make it, but nonetheless, shout out to him for getting the tryout. And more importantly, shout out to Giles Jackson for, making it. Because it was a very, as you guys will see when you read the article, and I have, a link here where you can see some of it. It was a very extensive list, Howie and, the Eagles, they turn over every stone looking for talent. So I just want to make sure I give a shout out to the organization for making sure South Jerseyans definitely get their moment in the sun. So thank you guys for that. Also, too, shout out to Mac McWilliams, cornerback from UCF. It's funny because the article was talking about Mac McWilliams and how he knows that his size and stature is always going to be a problem or an issue. And he doesn't care that you think he's too small. And I think that's great. Now, when you look at the metrics, he's very small, 5'10", 191 pounds. So that's very Avante Maddox-ish or esque, however you want to use it, that terminology. But nonetheless, small hands, small arms. Didn't grade out well as far as, length and body build as far as the combine. However, this guy, in college played outside and inside. As I stated in the draft video to recap when we, the Eagles picked him, I implore you to definitely check that out. He projects to be a nickel corner. He could play outside and inside, so they're definitely going to let him get some burn. And he played that in college and at the Senior Bowl, so the Eagles got tape of him doing this. This cornerback room is going to be very interesting. You still got guys like Eli Ricks there. You still got other guys there that they're still developing. So very interested to see how this all plays out. But I think Mac McWilliams could be special. He's got dog in him, and I can see that, he has dog mentality in him. That's a trait that, Nick and Howie look for. So I definitely think he could project to be a very good player. Where he falls, who knows? Because, again, he's got a litany of guys in front of him that have experience already and they are used to playing the position. So be that as it may, Kaylee Ringo definitely is fighting for his supper. It's year 3 for him. He definitely has to prove that he can, be consistently out there on the field. And also, Kaylee Ringo switched his number to number 7, which I thought was interesting, too, grabbing Hassan Reddick's old number. So be that as it may. Mac Williams, though, is definitely not going to be afraid. I think this guy has a chance to really be good. If he winds up being the new nickel, I wouldn't be shocked because then that means they probably push Cooper DeJean outside. If they push Cooper outside, then that means Adoree Jackson possibly didn't work out. I don't know. But there's a lot of things to unpack there with the cornerback room. I think there's a lot to be ironed out before the regular season even starts. So we shall see. But before we wrap up this episode of the Eagles Rookie Minicamp, I definitely want to make sure I definitely talk about the early 53-man roster projections. This article was written also as well by Dave Zangaro. And he gave some kind of surprising projections on the depth charts. There was only about 4 or 5 real shocks, in my opinion, that I just, didn't agree with or maybe have some contention with. We'll start with the first one. He has Kyle McCord, making it, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson out. I don't really argue too much with that. When you draft a guy in the 5th, 6th round, there's an intention with him to be possibly the 3rd or 4th string quarterback. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I kind of felt like he hadn't really developed into the player that you really thought he was going to be in Cleveland. He's now going to be in Philadelphia where you're like, oh, okay, shit. Well, he's in this offense. He's in this system. This system kind of breeds guys to play better. Let's give him an opportunity. Then they draft Kyle McCord, and which I understand, accuracy, quick decision maker, gets the ball out of his hands quickly. I completely understand it. So seeing Dorian Thompson-Robinson out there, a bit surprising, but I can understand it. This other one, wide receiver, Terrace Marshall being out, basically saying he's not going to make it over the likes of, some of the Johnny Wilsons, the Anais Smiths, and some of these other guys. Terrace Marshall is a very interesting situation because this is just like John Ross a year ago. Guy who was drafted high, didn't really work out, didn't project, didn't play out the way he expected. So very interesting to see. This is a guy that they pretty much are giving a shot to this camp. If he makes it, who the fuck knows? I'm not expecting him to make it. However, if he does make it, then that tells me he played very well. And he's threatening Jahan Dotson for that 3rd wide receiver spot. So a little bit of a shock there. Tight end positions, after all the hoopla about Dallas Goedert and what the Eagles are going to do at tight end and what their predictions and onset might be, he predicted that Harrison Bryant, Kylan Granson, and E.J. Jenkins would be out at tight end. E.J. Jenkins was a bit of a surprise there for me because E.J. Jenkins played a bit last year. He got into some supplementary roles, played in important games and non-important games. So if he's not able to play or he's not selected, maybe he makes the practice squad, something like that. But, not shocked to not see Harrison Bryant or Kylan Granson there. I think they're more or less camp bodies. Just want to see if you can develop those guys. As far as offensive line, he selected Matt Pryor as a possible camp cut, but he put an asterisk by this by saying if the rookies look solid. I understand that line of thinking because Howie is more or less tending to lean towards the youth, especially with the previous draft and the success of last season. However, I think Matt Pryor, being that he's so interchangeable, he's one of those guys where I don't think that it's even viable to cut. I didn't feel like it was a good idea to let him go a couple years ago, and obviously they brought him back. So not really sure there. I kind of disagree with that one. The one where I am in complete concurrence with Dave Zangaro on this, edge rusher Bryce Huff. I don't think he makes it through camp. The only way he makes it is if he shows some type of poise or promise. It looks like that he could be better than anything of what he was of last year, which was just a complete fucking, that was just a dumpster fire. That literally, if he puts up similar numbers this year, we can literally call this within the past 4 years Howie's worst free agent all-season acquisition. So not really sure if the guys are going to make it. Jalen Hunt has stepped up. You got Azeez Al-Jawlari there. You got a lot of guys there that can play that position. And, definitely looks like he might be the odd man out. That's going to do it for this recap of the Eagles rookie minicamp. I will have another episode coming up detailing other NFL news coming out. There's more Eagles updates. I will definitely have some information for you guys to drop. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care. Don't forget to enjoy the rest of your Cinco de Mayo. And more importantly, be safe getting to and from wherever your location is. Love you guys. Take care.